Hello everyone, my name is Mark, this is Why I Hate the World. How you guys doing? So this video today, I wanted to talk about this fucking phony baloney prisoner exchange mock-you scandal that is all over the news now. For those of you who live in other countries and don't pay attention to the American fake-ass news fucking cycle, what's going on is that there was a prisoner of war in Afghanistan, and his name was Bob Bergdhal, an American soldier being held by the Taliban or affiliated terrorist group, right? And he's been held for the last 5 years. And so the Obama administration has been trying to secure his release for 5 years, and they eventually made a deal, and they exchanged 5 prisoners in Guantanamo Bay for this American soldier, and the right wing has lost their fucking minds. And I think the entire thing is very, very despicable because rescuing an American soldier is generally a good thing. At least I would think so, you know. But I guess not if you're a conservative. It isn't. I don't understand. So a little bit of background here. So the soldier's name is Bob Bergdhal, and he was, captured 5 years ago, and part of the controversy revolves around the circumstances of his capture are not exactly clear. There's some evidence that maybe he might have abandoned his post, right, or whatever. Like, apparently he left a note saying, "I'm off to start a new life," and he was very disillusioned with his role in the war, didn't want to be a soldier anymore, whatever. And apparently he sent back a lot of his stuff back to his parents, his computer and his personal effects and things like that. And he was, and he left. But the thing is that we don't really know, right? And that's part of the controversy, is because a lot of the Republicans and the conservatives and the anti-Obama haters and shit like that are saying that, oh, it wasn't worth it. It's not worth making deals with terrorists, right? I'm rolling my eyes behind the sunglasses here. Making deals with terrorists because this guy was a deserter and he didn't deserve it and blah, 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 blah. And it wasn't a fair exchange, right? And the thing is, it's first, my response to that, my first thoughts when I hear shit like that is that it doesn't matter. That's irrelevant, all right? Because whoever this guy is, it doesn't fucking matter if he was the worst person in the world, okay? He's an American soldier, and the thing is that we are the government is obligated to rescue him, all right? It doesn't fucking matter, all right? The guy could have been a fucking drug dealer, right? He could have slept with chickens. It doesn't matter, okay? When you put your life on the line, right? When you join the army and you put your life on the line, right? It's a two-way street, okay? And it's not just you going out and, fighting and doing whatever and putting yourself in danger. The government's part in that is to take care of you. They pledge to take care of you. It's a two-way street, okay? And, people are not going to volunteer to go join the military if they see that, if you just get captured by the wrong enemy, if the enemy that captures you just happens to be designated a terrorist group, then you're shit out of luck. I mean, that's fucking ridiculous, right? And every conservative and every Republican who says I support our troops should be standing behind this decision, okay? They should be standing behind the fact that the State Department, right, is doing everything they can to secure the release of American soldiers, right? Regardless of who they are, regardless of what they may be guilty of. So that's the thing, is that, we don't know what happened, right? That's the thing. We don't know the exact circumstances behind this guy's capture. Like, go to Wikipedia and read Bob Bergdhal, and there's 6 or 7 different conflicting reports, right? Because it's just not known, okay? Yeah, maybe the guy was disillusioned, right? But we don't know if he actually deserted, right? Some people say that, there's one account that he fell behind on a patrol and he was captured. Another one is that he just left all of his stuff and walked out and was captured, right? Another one was that he was on guard duty and he was captured. Nobody really knows. There's conflicting reports, right? And you can't judge a guy, right? You can't judge these things until the evidence is in, right? I mean, for all we know, he could have just left the base, right? He could have left to go get some fucking ice cream or something, right? He could have went to go to the goddamn bathroom and got captured, right? Whatever. We have no idea. He could have sleepwalked and been captured. I mean, we do not know what happened. Okay, so everyone who's calling him a traitor, right? Go fuck yourselves, because you don't know the circumstances. You're talking out of your ass. Okay, and then there's some other shit like people saying like whenever you get a mock-you scandal, right? A good way to tell when a scandal is blown out of proportion or is bullshit is when there's a lot of like rumors attached to it. Things that have not been substantiated like this. Another example is, excuse me, the guy's father grew a beard and he learned how to speak Pashtun, and he's been attempting to reach out to the captors of his son's captors in order to convince them to release his son, right? So he's like, which is logical, if you think about it, he's going, hey, my son is being captured by these crazy religious freaks. Maybe I should go learn about what they're all about. And there's video of him speaking at the White House in Arabic and stuff, right? And, calling for peace, right? And a lot of the right-wingers have gone, have completely just taken the ball and run with it and said that, see, he's a terrorist sympathizer. And then they're saying that Bob Bergdhal is a terrorist sympathizer because of his dad and all this other shit. And it's just made up baloney. There's no truth to... They're rumors is what they are, right? And you can always tell when a scandal is bullshit because of the amount of bullshit rumors that get attached to it, Especially when it comes in a fucking email sent by some dumb shit that reads WND, right? WorldNet Daily, for people who don't know what that means. If somebody's reading some stupid fucking blog somewhere and just taking things that they read there and then emailing it to you, that it's bullshit, right? That the scandal is not a real fucking scandal. And there's a lot of rumors attached to this, the circumstances of his capture, number one, right? What his father is involved to, right? How many soldiers were killed trying to rescue him? Some people are saying there were, 6 soldiers died trying to find him, some say that there were none. Some were saying like, there's reports, it's like, oh, well, attacks went up after this guy got captured. So see, he's giving information, which is all unsubstantiated. All of this is just stuff that people pulled out of their assholes. Because you start getting into the morals and the ethics of it, right? How many lives is it worth to go find one person? How many lives is this guy's life worth, right? Well, let's say a small child is lost in the mountains somewhere, right? And going to find this child will put whoever goes to do it in danger. Yet 100 people will volunteer to go find her, to go find the child, right? Or not even a child, let's just say just some hiker is out in the woods and, he doesn't come back in a couple of days, right? And it's a treacherous area, and whoever goes out there to look for him is going to be putting themselves in danger. How many of those searchers' lives are worth finding this one guy? Right, well, logically you would think, well, no, if 5 people are going to die, then we shouldn't go and, do that rescue effort, right? But 100 people still volunteer to go find him, and that's just one of the things that, that's what makes people human, right? That ability to have compassion, to that ability to volunteer, to put yourself in harm's way for somebody else, okay? And that's actually what this guy did when he joined the military, right? Now, whether or not he deserted or whatever is irrelevant, all right? The military then, has that obligation to go find him. And the thing is that I have no doubt that, the people in his unit would volunteer to go rescue him, right? It does not, the thought doesn't even cross my mind that people would say, no, he's not worth it. That's bullshit. And that's the thing, is that the fact that I'm hearing that out there in the news, and from conservatives online and people leaving comments and stuff saying the guy's a traitor and all this other shit really blows me away. And it tells me that the people that are saying this crap, right, based on this like horseshit evidence, you know, these rumors and lies and things like that. It tells me that they've lost this capacity for, you know, for compassion. They've lost this capacity to sacrifice for somebody else, you know. See, now I don't know if I mentioned this before, but my father was in the military for, you know, 40 years, right, since the 70s, right. I think he's finally retired, finally. But you know, he was a colonel actually in the Air Force, right? And he was actually in the first Gulf War and this Gulf War II and Afghanistan, right? Since 2001, he's been overseas more than 10 times, okay, in tours between 3 to 6 months, more than 10 times, all right? So, you know, and he's an officer, so he was never really out on the front lines, you know, digging out landmines with a spork and shit like that, okay? I didn't really have to worry about, but, you know, if you're in that country, you know, if you're in a war zone, right, or even if you're just in a country that's in a war and you're not even close to the war, shit can happen, you know, you're never really truly safe if there's a war going on, okay? Things can happen, you know, you can get attacked, right, you know, there could be a roadside bomb, you know, a mortar shell could have hit where he was, a plane could have crashed, you know, a lot of soldiers over there die in helicopter crashes and plane crashes and accidents, you know, it's not always just, you know, combat. So, you know, it would always, I mean, the thing is I never worried too much, but at the back of my mind I always had that kind of little, you know, little bit of like, well, hey, maybe, you know, my mom might be getting that phone call or something, or not my mom, but you know, they're divorced, so my dad's wife might be getting the phone call or whatever. We might be getting a visit from a guy in a uniform with a letter, or I don't even know how they do it when somebody dies in the, you know, in combat or whatever. But you know, I was always kind of just had a little bit of that fear going back there, that right. And the thing is that if he were to be captured on one of those tours that he was on, I would hope that the government would do whatever they could to secure his release. Okay, I mean, shit. You know, that's the least they could fucking do, is to try to get him back, right? I would fucking hope so. And it really, you know, kind of just doesn't, it makes me like die a little on the inside to think that there's fucking, you know, people out there that would be against that, you know, regardless. I mean, it's absolutely fucking ridiculous. And the thing is that you would never, you know, because part of the controversy too was that I guess there was a procedural rule, right, part of the NDA, National Defense Authorization Act, signed last year, that Obama has to notify Congress 30 days of when they remove anybody from Guantanamo, right? And apparently they didn't do that. And part of the reason, I guess, is because they were led to believe that Bob Bergdhal's health was deteriorating and they didn't have time. Whether or not, you know what, that could be bullshit. The thing is, I don't give a fuck, right? And then now people are saying shit, well, you know, the response to that is, well, I guess the president doesn't have to obey the law. And then my response to that is, right, to people who say, well, the president can pick and choose what laws they want. My response to that is, well, hey, you fucking guys didn't care when Clive Bundy broke the law last year, you know, last month, right? They're the same people that were like standing behind Clive and Bundy saying, way to go and stick it to the government and all that shit. And some laws are made to be broken, are criticizing Barack Obama for breaking this law in order to save somebody's life. See, that's what they don't get. You know, there are extenuating circumstances, right? And sometimes you are allowed to break the law when it comes to circumstances like that. Case in point, you know, let's say you're married, your wife is in labor, the hospital's over there, you run a red light. Okay, you broke the law. Okay, well, shit, there is an extenuating circumstance, you know. But hey, fucking, or another example is, you know that someone is being held, you know, being beaten and raped and or whatever in a house and locked in a closet, right? And a guy's gonna kill whoever it is, and you break in and you fucking, you know, break in the guy's house and get her out of there, right? Well, you broke the law, right? Breaking and entering. There you go. But you did it to save somebody, right? That shit counts, okay? You know? And no jury in the world would convict you, All right, yes, you broke the fucking law. So, you know what? Yes, the president broke the law. No jury in the world should convict him for it. Okay. So it just kind of, I don't know. There's a lot of shit to talk about here, but it just kind of gets my fucking goat a little, because it tells me that the level of political discourse in this country has just gone below, you know. And I know I've said that a lot, but this one's really fucking despicable. Okay, criticizing the president for rescuing somebody is fucking despicable. And the thing is, this would never have happened in a million years if Bush were president, if Mitt Romney were president, if Sarah Palin were president. This scandal wouldn't be fucking happening, all right? And the people who say yes, it was, bullshit. You're lying. You're incorrect, all right? It's politics, pure and fucking simple. It's politics, and it just really makes me sick. And I think a lot of people out there are not falling for it, you know. And every time one of these mock you scandals comes up, more and more people don't buy it, you know. And I think that, I don't know, I think we're going to be pleasantly surprised when, you know, the Republicans lose again. Okay. And they're going to be like, well, how come everybody hates the Democrats? And then we're like, no, they don't. You know, because you just told a bunch of bullshit and nobody bought it anymore. But I don't know, one can only hope. Anyway, I'm starting to ramble on, so I'm going to get out of here. Adios, folks.